Hi, Drew from Mission RV Services, and today we are going to take you along as we do some light upgrades. We're going to be going from just your standard old style double bulb fixture, and we're going to be doing LED fixtures. So today the tools we're really going to use are, we're going to use just our drill and a number 2 square head. So this will be to take the lights out. We're going to use a regular screwdriver to put them back in, because you don't want to use a drill when you're putting lights back in the ceiling. You can strip them out easy. So we'll use a standard screwdriver with a number 2 screw head. We have some wire strippers in case we need them, and the kits, the lights they come with connectors, but we may use some Wagos along the way. And come on in and we'll show you how we do this. At this point, we've already put in 4 of the lights. We have 8 more to go, so it's a full swap out. And so these lights are pretty nice, pretty economical. They're not too bad. You can find them on the old Jungle website, just RV LED dimmable light. And we're going to continue on, but we're going to go through, just show you one. So we'll show you how to take the lens off, how to pull it down, and what to do. So this will be a pretty quick video, but we're going to keep getting to work, and let's go to the next light. So the first thing I always do before I change a light out is I always like to test it to make sure it works. Now if it doesn't, what it tells me is if it should be on and it doesn't come on, you know, one of the reasons we may be changing the light out. But the other reason is that you know, maybe there's a power issue. So I always like to check them first. I know this light is good, so I'll go, but if it wasn't coming on and it was supposed to, what I would do is I would get my meter and I would look for 12 volts up there at the source. So good thing is this light is good. So just very dim, as you can tell, versus the light we just showed you versus this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next all 5 of these down, and then we'll get them ready to prep so we can just go light to light to light like we did the first 4. So here we go. So first you pop the cover by sliding it away from the fixture. And as you can see, it doesn't want to pop out all the time because these have probably been up here for quite a while. There we go. They get gummy from the kitchen. There we go. Now that we've validated the light worked, and so what I've done now is I've gone through, which, not to show you every single light, but we've gone through and we've validated that all the lights in here work. Let me turn this off so I'm not blinding you. So now that we've validated that all the lights work, we disconnect our 12 volt power because we don't want to take a chance of a short. You're going to have just 2 wires up here, so you're going to have minimal chance of maybe shorting some out, but you're going to blow a fuse and then you're going to have to replace fuses. So the best thing is just kill that battery, disconnect if you have it. If you don't, then just go to your battery and remove the negative and positive off of that until you complete it. Okay, so now that we have our covers off, our power's off, so you're going to have, generally you have 4 screws up here, but every once in a while we'll find 8. So on this Keystone product, there are 8 screws that hold this fixture on, and you know, I guess it's a good place where the manufacturer went overkill, but okay, so you have 2 wires here. Your black, all right, this is a 12 volt system, so a lot of people are used to, on a standard 12 volt system, red is hot and black is ground. But in this camper, in this particular circumstance, these work more like a 120 volt system, even though this is a 12 volt. So black is hot and white is neutral, ground, common. So in this whole application, we're going to see that. So let me grab one of the new lights. The new light, this is where it could get a little bit confusing, but the new light has a red. So red in this case is positive, but still white is common or negative. So now we have a couple options here. We could cut this pinch connector here. So this is a green and white. So again, these are all, you have to kind of get used to this when you're working on campers, that different manufacturers color code their wires differently. So in this case, Keystone is doing a white and green for positive and still using a white for common. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the wire right about here and here. We're going to leave the factory pinch connector intact with all those wires, and then we'll grab our power and our ground from right here. So, and always remember, even though we have the power off when you're cutting wires, cut one wire at a time. Don't cut across, just in case you have some phantom bleed off or something in the system. Very rare you're going to have that with a 12 volt, but we always cut one wire at a time. And then what we'll do is we'll get this connected together. So this kit, like I said, comes with, it came with new screws. It came with some wire nuts. These wire nuts are kind of small, so we are going to be using some Wagos probably for most of this job, and it'll make the installation a little bit easier. Plus, I really just like how Wagos secure wires. As long as there's not any concern of them getting wet, then we may use butt connectors and shrink wrap those. So, but in this case, we're probably going to use Wagos because I just don't really like these little wire nuts. So let's keep going. So we'll cut our ground wire, give ourselves a little bit of wire here to use, and then we'll cut here. So that light is out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to strip this wire back, and this is about a 16 gauge, so get that. And then grab our Wago connector here. All right, so now we have both our wires stripped. Put our connectors on, and we're going to go ahead. This is already pre-stripped, so common to common, so white to white. And then again, this is green to white to black to red to white. So this is a red and white wire. All right, so now we're gonna, just for the purpose of the video, we're gonna go out and we're going to test this, but we also need to pop the cover off so we can put our screws on. And as you can see, this light, it's all LED. So full LED, should last a long time. You know, they were getting to the point where the age of this camper, after about 5 years old, that it was they were starting to change a lot of bulbs, so they wanted to get to something that maybe was a little more reliable, but just brighten it up in here. Everybody knows how dark campers tend to be. So let me go turn our power back on real quick at our battery disconnect over here, and then we'll test this light just to show you for the video. Okay, so now we've turned our power back on. So this particular light, all you do is push the button, and I don't want to blind myself, so I'm going to push away a little bit. But everything's good, so we have good connection up here. So the next thing we'll do is I'm going to turn this back off. So to turn this off, you hold the button, and that turns it off. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take our wires and carefully tuck them back up into the ceiling, just to make sure we don't take anything apart. Now these holes won't exactly line up like the old ones, but if we're lucky, we might get a couple of them to line up just to get something started. So we'll grab a couple of our screws, and so we do have two, the inner here, they did line up, so just that will help us just get these going. And so now that we've got those started, the other four I'm just going to have to do manually. So this is the case where using the number 2 screw head comes in very handy. So the reason is it will hold better when you're using a number 2 versus a Phillips. And this is just, you know, paneling here, so it's going to go in really easy. So we could use the drill here, but just be aware that if you use the drill, you are going to take a chance of stripping this out. So We don't want to do that, so this way you're doing it by hand. It might take you a little bit longer, but it's not going to be that much longer. It's not like you're trying to go into a really hard sidewall or anything. So takes a couple seconds and we'll get this done. Again, Keystone's using 8 screws here, which, you know, usually you have two screws on each end, and Keystone's using 2 on each end and two on each center. So now that we have our screws in place, so now this new car light has a protective film on it. Got all our plastic off, and the magic of editing, what took me 10 years, is done. So we've got both covers on. So these are just like the old ones. They just slide right into the groove there. Like Madonna, gotta get into the groove. See, this one's not going in very well. There it goes. So my power is still on, so let's just run through the light. So here is this. So this is pretty much the brightest setting. So then we have so you had the soft light, the bright light. So that's good. And now you can dim both sides. So let me turn my headlamp off so you can see that a little better. So there's fully bright, there's fully dim. So we go to the soft. Same thing, fully bright and dim. And then to turn the light off, you just hold the button. So now if you leave this on, you can also turn it on and off by your switch. Same way the other light would have worked, but you can do them individual, again, just like the old light. So we're going to continue on. We've got a bunch of these to install today, but an easy project. It updates the look of the whole camper. And as you can look around, Jen can pan around, you'll see all the wires hanging from the ceiling. Boy, we got a lot of lights to install, and we're going to get after it. But until next time, if you thought this video was helpful, hit the old subscribe button down there. Doesn't mean much to you, but it means the world to us. Click like. That always helps our algorithm. Send this video out to other friends. Share it with the world. That'd be great. Now, you don't have to share it with the world. Yeah, go ahead. Share it with the world. Why not? Make this video go viral, because changing lights are exciting. Probably not. But anyway, until next time, this has been Drew with Jen behind the camera with Mission RV Services. We're going to finish these lights and we're going to head on to the next job. Till next time, everybody, be safe out there. Bye.